You know, in India, the summer season is the oppressive season. People want to get rid of it. When will it ever end, this summer? It's become too long and painful, Swamiji. If I ring up in the month of June to India, Swamiji, it's very hot out here. And when the monsoon comes, it's a big relief. That's why the best season in India is the monsoon season. Out here, the monsoon is not looked upon as a wonderful season. Why? Because it's not killing that hot summer. So people don't celebrate the monsoon as they would do in India. But out here you have the winter, which is highly oppressive. Just now I am coming from Pittsburgh and the temperature was in the 30s. It would go down to 30, 32, and taking a morning walk, it would say, my God. So it makes me think that if this is the temperature in the month of April, what would be the temperature in the month of January? You all people, you live in that. But you have got all these central heaters and heaters within your cars, and you're moving from one central heating to another central heating. What was the condition in America when there was no central heating? Think of the first settlers who came, who lived in Canada and in New England, etc. in that ice cold. How did they survive? How do people survive in India? Nowadays, you know, in the cars they have these air conditioners fitted. Swamiji, don't travel without that air conditioner, it's so hot. Tell me, 30 years ago there were no air conditioners in the car. Everybody was traveling perfectly. How was it? They were all tolerating it. So we slowly learn to tolerate both the heat and the cold. This tolerance is a very big thing. The sign of progress is an enhanced tolerance. Now here Sri Krishna says that Arjun, just like this winter and summer come, you have to tolerate. Similarly, this sukh, dukh, happiness and misery, you will have to tolerate them. Remember, the perception of both is coming because of the contact of the senses with the sense objects. God has fitted 5 senses into this body. Now these senses hanker for their objects. The tongue hankers for pleasurable tastes. And when you give it the object of its desire, you give it the chocolate or the ice cream or the kalakand. When the sense comes in contact with the object, there is a temporary experience of pleasure. And the experience of pain is the same. When the sense comes in contact with an unpleasurable object, it gives pain. So our journey in life is always running away from pain and hankering after pleasure. And this leads our mind out of control. But to achieve anything, you have to learn to control and to tolerate these urges. So that is intelligence. Because the problem is that if you give your sense that object of pleasure, for a moment there will be a slight perception of happiness, but then it's gone. It doesn't satisfy you. The soul is left high and dry, so the soul again makes the desire. And once the senses again make the desire. How will I get that object? Again you give it, again it will desire. And each time the intensity of that desire will keep on increasing. This will lead to greed or lobh. So if your senses on getting that object once, they could be permanently satiated, it would be good riddance. But that is not the case. Na jatu kamaha kamana mupabhogena shamyati havisha krishna vartameva bhuya eva bhivardhate. In the Bhagavatam it is stated, na jatu. The more you give the objects of the senses to these senses, the more their desire keeps on increasing. And that desire does not give you happiness, it only ignites a fire, keeps you discontented. And if we can learn to tolerate, so what is the way out of it? The way out of it is very simple. Your sense is hankering for that object. You learn to tolerate. Just tolerate. Don't indulge. And slowly, slowly, slowly it will die out. Finished.